Hello and welcome to another episode of Seeds of Greatness with Nana Harrison. It's been a while, but I'm back with a brand new series that I have titled Good versus Right, from the story of Cain and Abel. This series will run for a little while, but I know and I believe that it will be a blessing as always. And so don't go anywhere. Share this video with your friends, your family, and don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell to get notified of all the new videos that I bring your way. So today I'm talking about Cain and Abel from Genesis chapter 4. I'm just going to read the first part and then we'll go through it quickly. I believe a lot of us know the story, but then it's not just about the story as we always do here, but it's about what we are learning beyond the stories that we know and we've been told. So pick your Bibles and let's go through it. Genesis chapter 4. Genesis chapter 4. And I'll read. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. That is where we will end today, the reading. So these are two brothers we know, and a lot of us know the story. Cain and Abel were born to Adam and Eve after they were driven out of the garden by God. But there are just a few things in this part of the story that we are going to learn. There are so many other things that we will go through in the course of the story in this series. So I encourage you not to miss even one of the episodes. I believe it's going to be empowering. You'll be empowered after watching each episode. I know and I believe that. So now Cain was older, and it looked like he was pretty much the leader among the two of them. So it says here that even in the sacrifice, Cain went to do his first, and then Abel also followed suit. So there is that thing about being elder brother, being leader. We see that everywhere. Whenever you have two or more people, at least one of them would emerge the leader of that group, and it is normal. However, there is something very important about these two characters that we need to understand. By virtue of the fact that Cain was born first, he was considered like the special child of Adam. I think Adam did say that I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord after Eve gave birth to Cain. So it looked like Cain was that special child, coupled with the fact that he is the eldest and perhaps the leader. You see, it gives him some form of entitlement, or some perceived entitlement. That's the right word. In his mind, well, I'm this special child, the firstborn son, and perhaps also the leader amongst myself and my little brother. And so that sense of entitlement was there. Secondly, they both had different paths. Cain was a farmer, like vegetable farmer, and then Abel was an animal farmer. They had two separate paths, which is okay. I think that they were thriving and they were doing well. Everything was good until the sacrifice happened. So being on different paths is okay. It doesn't matter whether you're brothers or you're friends or you're whatever. It is okay to have different paths. You may have your own goals. It doesn't matter. You don't have to share the same goals with your best friend. You can be doing something else and they can be doing something else. The most important thing is for both of you to agree, because unless there's an agreement, you can't work together. And that is probably what happened in a case of Cain and his brother Abel. Now, there is this misconception that I want to kind of debunk. There are many people who do say that, well, I think when we're growing up in Sunday school, we're told stories like, well, so Cain did not offer the best of his produce, but Abel did. As a matter of fact, the story only talks about Abel's sacrifice. It only describes what Abel used. It never described the nature of the produce that Cain brought. So I don't think, contrary to what we used to be taught, that maybe Cain, maybe the ones that have been drilled into by the insects was the one that he brought to sacrifice. That is not true. It has no biblical backing. Cain brought his vegetables to sacrifice, and then later Abel also brought his animal to sacrifice. Now, there is a problem here. You see, Cain was the first. Perhaps all throughout he has been the first, doing everything. It's like, yeah, whatever I do, my little brother follows suit. So he's pretty much the trailblazer here, if I can say so. And then all of a sudden, this one doesn't go that well. He makes his sacrifice or his offering, and then Abel also does his, and Abel's got accepted, but Cain's did not. This is what I want to say right about this. You see, a lot of the times we think that if I am the leader, then I am right, that kind of entitlement. But the point is, being the first doesn't matter if you don't get it right. This is key. You can be the first person to introduce a product in the market, but if you don't do it right, it doesn't matter. So if you're trying to use the first mover advantage, which is very good, first mover advantage is splendid, it is very good. But if you are not able to get it right, if you're not able to do it well, or do what you are supposed to do, then it doesn't matter whether you were the first or the last. So the key here is about seeking to do the right thing than being in a hurry to do something which might not necessarily be the right thing. So this is the key here. Like Cain, I don't know what informed his decision to make the offering, but I think that maybe he should have done some due diligence before going out there to offer that sacrifice. Perhaps he thought that this was going to be like every other day. Now, the other thing, the fact that you've had repeated success does not mean that you will continue to be successful. There are certain things that will not go the way you desired them to go. Those things will definitely happen. It is part of life. And that is what happened in the case of Cain. He had always been the leader, and Abel had been following him. But on this one occasion, his action, his move was not right. He did not get it right. So, these are two things that I'm leaving with you. Being first doesn't matter if you don't get it right. Being first doesn't matter if you don't get it right. You need to get it right. That is what matters most. And then it is okay for things not to go the way you wish they had gone. Sometimes things do not go. You would have calculated every move and everything, but it's not every time that things will go the way you intended them to go. And it is okay. We need to come to that understanding that as human beings, we have our highs and we have our lows. We have our moments of elevation and we have the moments where we are humbled. These are seasons of life. They happen. But the problem is how we choose to respond. As we will see subsequently, how we choose to respond to whichever situation in which we are is what matters, is what really defines who we are. It is not necessarily about whether we are in our highs or in our lows, for those are bound to happen. And then finally, when we read the last verse that I read, which was the verse 5, it says, "But for Cain and his offering, he had no regard. So Cain was very angry and his face fell." My point is, why did Cain get angry? Why should he get angry? He had no reason to be angry. Like, I just did not understand that part. Why he has to be angry that his younger brother's sacrifice had been accepted and his hadn't been accepted. So the question I was asking myself was, how would he have felt if his had been accepted and perhaps his younger brother's had been rejected? Maybe he would have been happy and pleased because of his ego. Yes, I am the leader. My friend, the world does not revolve around you. This is the simple truth. You can be the leader. You can be whoever. The world does not revolve around you. The earlier you understood that, the better. Because in this case, if it had gone very well for him and not for his brother, maybe he would have been happy and still try to encourage him. Well, maybe next time he can do it better. But because it did not go well for him, now he is angry. This is typical of how a lot of us behave. Even with our friends, we see people prospering, we see our friends doing very well, and things are not going very well for us, and then we begin to hate on them. We begin to get angry for something they haven't done. They haven't done anything. You are begrudging that friend of yours for nothing. Because at the end of the day, you all offered what you had to offer, and yours wasn't accepted, and theirs happened to be accepted. Well, it could have just been that, well, maybe there will be subsequent sacrifices, and I just needed to do better so that mine would also be accepted maybe the next time. Instead of frowning and getting all mad because for once, the one who was supposed to be the follower is now being at the forefront. And so you are angry. This is unjustified. There is no reason. There is no excuse for this anger. And so as we go through life, we need to understand that even as things do not go well for us, things might be going very well for other people. And what we have to do is to rejoice with them. We have to celebrate other people's success. You see, because the moment we don't do that, we close the door for success to come to us. So we need to start embracing that it doesn't matter. It could be somebody you taught. It could be someone you fed. It could be someone you picked from somewhere and you brought them up. And then all of a sudden, the person is doing much better than you. You see, it is not their fault. Sometimes it's just the grace of God. But instead of being angry, we should rather channel that anger into joy for them, because that would probably open some doors for we ourselves to also get through. And so anger is not the right, what we call it, emotion that Cain had to exhibit. And it is just because in his mind, everything had to be about him. Everything had to be around him. Like everybody had to be under his magical spell. And everybody had to think of him like, oh, this is Cain. Do you not know him? And everybody is praising him. So when the praise begins to shift quarters, the praise begins to shift slightly to somebody else, you are mad because you think you deserve it. Well, I'm here to announce to you, you don't deserve it. That's a simple thing. You don't deserve. The point is, everybody deserves something. So don't think that at any point in time you should be the center of attraction. All eyes should be on you. As long as you are the star, as long as you are the one everybody is crazy about, oh, all is merry. But the moment somebody begins to rise, the moment you begin to see another star, like the star of Jesus, you become like Pharaoh. You go about murdering all the children under 2 years old because of what? Is it ego or what other thing could do that? Ego, envy, jealousy. Like, what exactly is that? If you are a believer, or wherever you find yourself, whether you believe or not, this is what you need to understand. Everybody has their moment. You can rise, you can be a star and shine, but it gets to a point other people would also shine. You will not reign forever. You see, there were kings. Every king comes and then they go. So there will be a time somebody would overtake you. Somebody you brought up, somebody who was far lower than you will excel, will do better than you. And it is okay. Until you come to this understanding, you would be angry at people for nothing. And the people wouldn't even know that you are even angry at them because they haven't done anything to you. So let's go about loving people, celebrating people, encouraging one another, and then being happy that other people are also seeing success that we can learn from. Everybody does not have to learn from you. You also have to learn from someone. And so it's okay for people to do what you were not able to do. It is okay. It is okay. You alone cannot conquer everything. So it is okay. Just give it rest and let it go. Think about other things and other opportunities. All too soon, my time is up. The conversation was getting much interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about what I talked about. Maybe you have another opinion. Let me know. Just let's get talking in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. and don't forget to hit the bell to get notified of the new videos that I bring your way every week. Well, maybe I may change and be bringing it to you more frequently. I know you are anticipating which direction the rest is going. This series is really power packed. I believe that we are all going to be blessed as we go through it, and we allow the Lord to lead us and to teach us. And so until we meet again next time, it's been Seeds of Greatness with Nana Harrison. Stay blessed.